tonight's presentation of Art on the Mart. Thank you for coming, and please enjoy tonight's program.
Doors closing.
What's the view like, Baz?
A bit watery.
That's because there's water.
Wow! An original BMW production.
Can't argue with that.
Most buildings are big rectangles, but the triangular layout of this building, set on a rectangular lot, means that buildings nearby never got a chance to go right up against the Swiss Hotel. So it did mean fewer rooms and, of course, less interior square footage, but the triangular layout guarantees that every single room will always have a great view, no matter what else is built nearby.
Everything on the right was a 9-hole golf course. It was open, it was flat, there was almost nothing to it. But now the area is home to more than 24 buildings, most of which are residential. We're going to be heading out towards Lake Michigan soon, and though we do have some strong winds this morning, I'm hoping they'll be low enough that we can get out on the lake and really enjoy the view. Either way, we'll have the full 90 minutes of the tour, and we'll talk about some great things along the way. But since we're going to be heading in that direction, before we talk about the lake, the river, it's 156 miles long. In the time that Chicago has been built up around this river system, the Chicago River has been straightened, it's been widened, it's been deepened, and it's been reversed. The Chicago River, in its natural state, fed from a small swamp at the south end of the South Branch of the Chicago River. Now that swamp, though it is no longer with us, was the start of the river system, so the river wasn't moving very fast at that time. The river was naturally flowing eastward. The residents of the city would use the river like an open sewer. They would throw toxic waste, animal carcasses, trash, factory runoff, all directly into this water, and pretty much without a second thought. I know that sounds gross, and trust me, it was gross. The Chicago River was so toxic that it self-ignited twice. This is Lake Point Tower. It was done in 1968, designed by Heinrich and Shipwright. And this building is based on a Y design, so it features 3 tiers, equal in distance from the center, equal in distance from one another. What's truly impressive is how precisely the curve on the exterior was calculated. It is set so that if you are anywhere inside Lake Point Tower, you cannot spy on your neighbors in the building. If you're at the very center of the floor and you figure, hey, let's spy on the neighbors at the end of the tier, as you look out your window, instead of seeing into another unit, you just see the steel beams that support the window panes as they visually align throughout the curve. And if you figure, hey, I'm at the end of the tier, let's look into another tier, you get a warped view of your own reflection. That's thanks to the dark bronze glazing. You see the exterior color on the windows was set up so that if you want to look through 2 panels at the same time, they have to be parallel. The windows sit at an angle, looking out one and into another just gives you a warped view of your own reflection. The building, though it did open in 1968, was the world's tallest apartment building at that time at 70 stories and 645 feet. But it's time for our next building. 2 towers, green windows, lots of brick. This is Riverview. It was done in 2004 by DeStefano and Partners. The East Tower, which is closer to us, is 29 stories tall, and the West Tower, featuring that rounded top, stands at 32. If there's anyone on board checking out Riverview, you like what you see, you want to move in, I say treat yourself and go for the townhomes. There are 16 townhomes in the building. They're all 4 stories tall. Each one has a private rooftop terrace, and these townhomes will run you between $2 and $8 million apiece. The range in price isn't even about the property, it's about the view. If you want to step onto your terrace but see the main branch of the river, or maybe take a quick glance up into Lakeshore East, well, that'll put you at the $8 million end of the price range. If you're okay looking at the nearest city street, you'll be at the $2 million end of the price range. Well, you can see a few window washers getting ready to take care of the townhomes. So you'll see the window washers, they're setting up their rigs for a swing system. That's an individual window washer on a small platform, and then they lower themselves down from whatever they're connected to, going 1 column of windows at a time. Oh, it is Monday. Monday is traditionally window washing day, so hopefully we'll see a few more options, and we'll explain the rigs as they pass by. The green glass, though, that you see on this building, and you might notice on our next view, this is all to pay respect to the natural green of the Chicago River. The dark emerald color all around us, this is the result of algae, freshwater seaweed that we get from Lake Michigan. But every year, in celebration of St. Patrick's Day, we dye the river bright Kelly green, and we do that all thanks to the local Plumbers Union. The Chicago Plumbers Union is the only group that knows the formula for the orange, biodegradable, powdered vegetable dye that takes us from our current green to a bright Kelly green, but again, it's biodegradable and vegetable-based, so it doesn't hurt the water, the fish, or the plant life as it's used, and it breaks down over a course of 3 days. Our next building has this rounded corner. This is the Sheridan Center Hotel and Tower. It was done in 1992.